Carolyn Dube here, and I am so excited to be introducing to you a new feature over on the blog called Playdates. Now, Playdates came about from when I was arting recently with some friends and the discussions that we had. And these discussions absolutely energized me, got my mind thinking in so many different ways, and I realized it was because we were talking about why we like some of the supplies we like, what our favorite techniques are to do with them. And what was interesting to me is a lot of times we were talking about the exact same supply, but we each had a whole different thing that we loved about it. So what I want to do with these play dates is get that conversation started. I'm going to start off sharing with you what I like about a product, a supply, and my favorite way to use it at the moment. And I'd love it if you join in on the conversation over on the blog at acolorfuljourney.com or over in the Google Playground called A Colorful Journey. As I share with you what are my thoughts, my ideas about it, because, disclaimer here, everything on the video here is just my opinion, and that's all it is an opinion. These are the way things I feel about them at the moment right now for me. This isn't a right or wrong answer kind of situation. Everybody has their own style. Everybody has their own sense of creativity. Everybody has what they're drawn to. It may not be the same thing, but what's interesting is how just hearing what somebody else likes may spark something for you. So if you're brand new to the supply, it's a great way to find out a little something about it and why people like it, both myself and those that have joined in on the conversation. And if you're a veteran of it, it's a great way for you to share with others something that you love about the supply. Well, this week with our very first play date, I'm starting it off with spray inks. Let's dive right in with one of my top 3 favorite spray inks, and that is Lindy's Stamp Gang. One of the things that I love about theirs is they have this wonderful shimmer in it that behaves a little differently than shimmer in other spray inks. Because there's mica or whatever the sparkle is in it, you do need to shake it up. And then I like to squirt a generous amount. And you can see right now, you can see where the splotches are from where I've actually sprayed. But when it dries, it won't look that way, I promise. And the way the mica dries on it, or whatever the sparkle is in it, it is absolutely beautiful. So here it is, all juicy and wet for a background in an art journal. And then I've got a time-lapse video here of it drying. Now I've really sped this up for you so you can watch how it dries. You can see the colors kind of move around with each other. One of the things that I wish I knew how to do, or that has been invented, I don't know if it's just me or if it's an invention issue, is how to photograph things with mica well on a camera. So there is this wonderful shimmer and sparkle in here that photographs just don't do it justice. And what you just saw there was my impatience, hoping that it would hurry up and dry. But I restrained myself, just so you know, and I'm letting this thing dry. Well, I'm not going to really let it dry all the way because that moon crescent shape that I've got there of the wet spraying from the biggest puddle, I just can't take it. I am actually going to bring out a roll of paper towel and I'm just going to roll that little bit up because, well, I have the patience of a squirrel and I really want this dry so I can go on to the next thing. So now I've got it dry and you're starting to get an idea of what this mica looks like on there. It's just got this awesome shimmer, but it's splotchy. And I love that it's not perfectly even. It makes it so interesting when the light catches it or when you hold it. Really is just a phenomenal look. Just as it is, it's an amazing background for an art journal. But we're going to do a little bit more to it because you know I love layers and I want to add sort of a holographic touch to it in layers. Well, I'm going to take this stencil called Now is the Time, and it's one of my new ones from over at Stencil Girl, and I really want it flat against that, and I also don't want it to move, and you'll see why, because I want to be able to lift it up and put it back. So to do that, I am actually going to break down and pull out the tape. I don't pull out the tape very often, but for this time, I think it's well worth it. If you don't have repositionable tape, you can actually make your own by taking masking tape and peeling it off like against your jeans a couple of times until it's not as sticky. Or another thing you can do is just take a clip and put it on the edge of it. This will also help keep the stencil flat to help give you the crispest, clearest stenciling possible. So now what I'm going to do is bring in one of the colors that I used when I did the background. So either the blue or the green. And I'm going to go with blue this time. And I'm just going to shoot it with some blue. Nothing really tough here, it's just putting spraying through a stencil. I'm going to blot up the excess and then I'm going to peek. I want to see how I'm doing. And I like how that looks, so I'm happy with that color with it. Wasn't sure if I was going to go blue or green, so I have to admit I was checking to see if I liked it, and I do, and I'm going to do more of the blue. So I'm going to do the whole page in it. So I'm going to get the part down here, and of course there's going to be some more up there. And what's happening though as I'm doing this is I'm adding another layer of color and shimmer. Now, it's hard to see on camera because of that whole pesky shimmer issue, but in person this is the most wonderful holographic looking background. So now you know why Lindy Stamp Gang spray inks is one of my go-to spray inks. Well, thanks for joining me for Playdates Spray Ink Edition. There's plenty more to come this week. So again, if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, you'll know exactly when my next video comes out. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you shared it. Thanks for being a part of this colorful journey.